Slam. This is a long one and a crazy one and an amazing one. We got Darryl McDaniels, best known as DMC from Run-DMC. He's here to talk about his career, his life, his struggles with depression and alcoholism, and we talk a lot about his amazing book, 10 Ways to Not Commit Suicide. Quote from this episode: "The more you front like you're strong and you got it together, your strength stays back because they know you lying." Keep listening, hear what it's all about. Since kindergarten, I acquired the knowledge. What's up, everyone? Jack Mangan here from Support Life and Music. You know me around like Metal Asylum and metal. Sometimes they let me in the door at the Metal Voice, Metal Hall of Fame. Today, this is Support Life and Music, and we're talking to someone who is a huge part of my childhood. It's one of the three reasons that all the kids in my school wore Adidas. DMC, Darryl McDaniel, man, thank you so much for joining us today.
What's happening? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great to talk to you, man. We have a lot to talk about, so I hope your whole day is cleared, right? We're going to talk for about 8 hours.
Yes, I'm good. Yep.
Let's talk about, you have some exciting news for 2026. We got a new record, a new song.
Oh, yes. For speaking of metal, that's real funny. New song, January 23rd. It's me and Sebastian Bach on vocals, Travis Barker on drums, Mick Mars from Motley Crue on guitar, and Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses on bass. The song is called She Gets Me High. So me and Travis doing the verses and the vocals, and in the studio, Duff, Travis, and Mick played the instruments phenomenally. Mick is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, even we got an extended version of the song where after the song ended, he just kept playing for like 7 minutes. We was like, oh, let's let him play. And he played on.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm excited. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear it. Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, She Gets Me High, January 23rd.
And what's the name of the group that this is coming out under?
It's not a group. It's just, it's one of those things where I love it because it's like historic and iconic. Yo, don't you know Mick? That's Mick on the guitar, Duff on the bass, and Travis on drums. They just played. They were the studio musicians that played on the record.
Wow, those are some good hired guns.
No, amazing. Like the whole thing came together organically too. Because I originally did it was a sampled verb. I'll give it away. I did a sample. The producer Sonic, who's a hip hop R&B producer, he produced some records for me. Like, yo, D, you the king of rock. We're gonna make some rock songs. So we did a sampled version of Ram Jam's Black Betty. So we did a reinterpretation of Ram Jam's Black Betty. Me rhyming over the sampled beat and a sampled hook. After we finished, Sonic, the producer of the song, was like, yo, D, you got to do this live. Because he went to Black Betty, Ram Jam's Black Betty, Motley Crue, Run-DMC's Walk This Way, It's Tricky, Guns N' Roses, Rage Against the Machine, hockey games, at sports games, when they always play the music, all of those guys on the records music comes on. But that wasn't the plan. He just went to a Giants game here in Jersey, and he heard Walk This Way, and he heard Skid Row, and he heard Guns, and he heard Motley, and he heard Rage. And he was like, yo, D, we got to do this record live because you're the king of rock. And I was like, okay. So he was like, your homework is to find musicians. Like, we didn't know who it was going to be. Find musicians to do the record. And I ran into Travis. What's up, D? What's going on? Oh, I want to play drums on it. And then so it's me and Travis. And then I ran into Sebastian. Oh, I'll sing the parts. And then Mick heard, oh, you got Travis and Sebastian. Oh, I want to play guitar. Like, they were like little kids. Like, that's the beauty of the best musicians in the world. It's no celebrity bullshit with them. And it was like, yo, I'm playing, I want to be on this. And then Duff heard it when Duff was actually touring with Guns and he had a break. And Sebastian was like, I'm gonna call my friend Duff here. Duff said, send it to me. And then 3 minutes later, he said it's done. Like, yo. So we just like a bunch of little kids. But it
Um,
all started with the love of Ram Jams. Oh, Black Betty, Bam a Lamb, oh. And Mick, you know that's a hard record to play.
sure. Yeah.
Like, yo, Mick, I mean, murdered it. So I think people are gonna have a lot of fun with it. So I'm excited.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear it. You know, I'm
Yes.
offended you didn't call me Daryl, but Mick is better. Mick is a better guitar player than me.
Next time, I
Next
still
time.
got some music to make.
No, Mick is better. Call Mick instead of me. No, that's exciting, man. And I hope it leads to more, like, more stuff
Yeah,
from
thank you.
2026. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Well,
And
on the album, that's the first single in January. On the album, I got Sammy Hagar, Joan Jett, Agnostic Front, Ice-T, Chuck D. Like it's a fun album. It's a very diverse album.
yeah, again, what a great crew you got there.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
like every one of those people are people like I think are superstar, like some of the best of all time.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, for sure.
that's incredible, man. All right, so and what's the album going to be called? What can people look
Well,
out?
it has nothing to do with politics. I've been working on this album for a couple of years now. It's called America.
All
So the
right.
timing is perfect because everybody on this album, from Joan to Ice-T to Chuck to DJ Jazzy Jeff to Sammy to Duff and stuff, when you go to a rock concert, this is what America really is. You know what I'm saying? The arts succeeds where politics and religion fails. And politics and religion has been failing us for eons. It's the cause of wars, it's the cause of division. You know what I'm saying? But when you
Mhm.
anything artistic, the rock concert, go to a museum. Look, people from all over the world, different race, creeds, colors, and religion there for the art. Go to a play, go to a sports game, anything, like, you know what I'm saying? So that the government doesn't reflect what America is. Matter of fact, they so far from it because they start with, I'm this and you're that. I'm a Republican and you're that. I don't need to know that. We're here to make sure the kids, education, taking care of the veterans, and taking care of all the people that live here is the first thing that should be done. So I don't care. And then even within, even within each entities, like when you say Republican and Democrat, now that's we against each other. I don't need to know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Right.
just say I'm a senator here representing my state. What are we here to do? Take care of people's health. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you label yourself, you create division. And even within the Democrat, you got liberal and conservative. Everybody is always trying to be something that they're not. And the thing that we all are is people with the same needs. So if I know I want that, you should have it too. And I'm saying, even the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is like little kids. I got a kids book, and I go speak to kindergarten and fifth graders all the time. And I don't go in there and say, "Hi, kids. I'm the first rapper ever." I don't do. I go in there and say, "Yo, what's up, y'all? My name is Jack McDaniels. I'm from Hollis, Queens, New York. Now, I've been around so long, your grandmother and grandfather know me." And they go, "Oh, you're old." I said, "No, I'm not old. I'm eternal. It's a difference." But then I say, y'all know more than y'all know. Like, there's no age division either. The kids say, we don't know who you are. All I got to do is this, man. All I got to do is start going, this speech is my recital. I think it's very, and the teachers, the third grade, second grade, the kids all just know it. So I'm not DMC from Run-DMC to them. I'm DMC, the It's Tricky Man from the Sonic Hedgehog movie. So when they find out that's who you are, now we good. Now we good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You got to be a
So
cartoon, I guess. No,
it's
and that's
crazy. So,
man.
music, well, I just want to say music is the thing that brings everything together.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. There's so many perfect things you said there, man. And it's of course it's really appropriate for DMC to talk about knocking down barriers because of course you did that in rap and rock. Like you're one of the
Yes.
pioneers of
Well, yes. Look, since 86, I could go to a country. I've been to South Sudan. It's well, in the week that I went there, they just happened not to be fighting. Because North Sudan is versus South Sudan. North Sudan got all the refineries, South Sudan got all the oil, and even they over there beefing. Just put the damn oil in the refineries and share the damn money. So the one week we go over there to South Sudan. Oh, it's Ice-T, it's Run DMC, it's Metallica. You do not know the power of music. Like they know the t-shirts, the fucking Guns N' Roses t-shirts. It was crazy going over there. I've been to Russia and Ukraine in the same tour. Now those two countries with beautiful people I met are over there fighting. But when I went, we played Red Square, was Naughty by Nature shirts, Salt and Pepper shirts, Beastie Boy. It was crazy. But what I wanted to say was, since '86, I can go to Southern Canada, all over the world. I could go to a country I've never been to tomorrow, and they're going to do this to me. DMC, don't you know when Steven Tyler took that mic stand and knocked down the wall that was separating y'all in the video? That didn't just happen in the video, it really happened in the world. People told me that. Not journalists, not no people. Every place I go, they say, yo, that really happened.
The symbolism, yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I hope that no one ever says, "Well, that was all Run DMC was about." Because I mean, you like that. There's so much more than just one song. But it's still the power of one song, the power of art. Again, I
Right.
love what you said. I'm gonna quote you when you said, "Art is succeeding where politics and
And
religion
religion
fail."
fails. It does. Everybody says, yup.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna quote you on that one.
Yes.
But no, I mean, so let's talk. I mean, I definitely want to talk about your book. We got to get to your book before we're
Yep.
done here. But I mean, let's talk
Yep.
some more of the cool. Like it's gonna get a little heavy. I'll just warn everybody that. But like, I want to talk about some
Yep.
other, like you said, you got the kids book, and you got
The kid's book is called Darryl's Dream. It's a story about me in the third grade, just wanting to say my poem. And I wrote the book because I want kids to don't worry about the bullies. Don't be ashamed of who you are because who you are is going to make all your dreams come true. I'm still Daryl, that little kid got teased, bullied, and picked on in the third grade because I wanted to say my poem. But I'm also now the king of rock who walks his way in his Adidas to tell the world how tricky, tricky, tricky life can be. So I wrote this kids book, kindergarten to fifth grade, so they can be happy just by being who you are. So, and also do comic books because growing up
right.
before music, all I did was read, collect, and draw Marvel comic books. DC was cool. I collected DC, but Metropolis and Gotham was trying to be New York. Stan Lee was genius. He just put the superheroes really in New York. So I didn't have to leave my room to learn about the Lower East Side, Hell's Kitchen, Harlem. Because every time I opened a Marvel comic book, I got a geography lesson of the city I lived in, but I couldn't leave the block. So big shout out to Stan Lee. I met him two times too. Because I got a comic book, I could go to all the Comic Cons. And I said, Stanley, you created a monster.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. After my
Yeah.
own, I made a comic based on the song "Am I Evil" a couple years ago. So
Oh, right on. Yeah,
I'll
and it all goes together. See, you're a
yeah,
perfect example. There's why there's musicians and no comics and because we're all products of pop culture.
yeah.
So for me, my whole thing was, getting teased. I went to Catholic school my whole life. So you know how that was. I really met the nun from the Blues Brothers. Those yardsticks and her whacking you, Sister Nazaire was like the devil. And all the kids was trying to figure out how the hell are we in Catholic school? God is supposed to be taking care of us. And Sister Nazaire and this witch Sister Nazaire is running wild in the school, whacking all the kids with the yardstick. But my release was these comic books. Taught me about New York. I could relate to Tony Stark's, Peter Parker, Professor X, and Dr. David Bruce Banner because most of the superheroes were geeky, nerdy, smart, scientific dudes that had these superpowers. So I was like, and it's funny, the teacher would always ask me, from like kindergarten to like fourth grade, what do you want to be? And I was serious, I want to be a superhero. Want to be like Peter Parker. He lives in Queens, and she was, that's not real. How could it not? I live in Queens. Peter Parker's from Queens. Like I used to debate my teachers all the time. They used to get so frustrated. And it was all comic books till about early 70s, 77 WABC here in New York City. Dan Ingram, Harry Harrison, they was phenomenal. ABC was phenomenal because prior to that, it was AM stations. So you had the black AM station and the white AM station. So my father used to listen to both. Like on the black AM station, you hear Aretha Franklin, Al Green, James Brown, Sly and the Family Stones. On the white AM station, you would hear, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, Young and Nash, Procol Harum, all the folk group. But then 77 ABC came to New York City and they put the black and the white music together. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Because I cared nothing about black music because my mother and father, they were cool back then. They were dancing and they would have their parties and tell me, you get your ass back upstairs in the room. And I'm like, why is daddy hugging on mommy like that? But then the thing that attracted me to music before hip hop was songs like Procol Harum, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I remember hearing the Doobie. Two of the songs that like connected me really growing up was "Oh Black Water, Keep on Rolling, Mississippi Moon." Like every time I came on the radio, I would stop and go, "What is this?" Harry Chapin's Cats in a Cradle, um, Iron Man. And because Iron Man would play, so I knew they was talking about the Iron Man in the comic books. Like it was crazy. So it was I was attracted to folk rock and rock because the drums and the guitars were more powerful. It reminded me of superheroes. R&B was cool and disco and all of that, but it was do 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 do. Rock, the drums was boosh, batch, boosh, to boosh, bang. It's like, yes, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Little Catholic school kid, probably was the rebellion in me. But in the folk songs, Jim Croce, bad, bad. Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town, badder than O'Keefe. See, they were rapping back then. But it was
Yeah.
the folk rock was storytelling, and then the rock was louder drums and louder guitars. It was more powerful. And plus, most of the music my mother fought, Al Green and Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, they were talking about love and girls. I'm a kid. I only care about superheroes and powerful, noisy things. So that was my life as a kid, and then this thing called hip hop comes over the bridge from the Bronx. And I'm like, these guys are taking all the music that I hear on the radio and they're making their own songs out of stuff. And I was like, man, if I do that, I'm going to become the most powerful entity in the hip hop universe. So I was pretending to be the devastating mic controller, the most power. I was pretending to be a superhero on the mic, not knowing me calling myself the king of rock would actually come true. So rock and roll, hip hop allowed my rock and roll dream to come true. I want to be like that guy Freddie Mercury that sings for the band Queen, but I had a problem. I couldn't sing, and I didn't have a band. So then hip hop came along. Oh, you can sample other people's music, steal their music, put it together. Don't hear them sing. Keep the parts going where they're not running their mouth, and I can put my own words on their records. Made for me,
Mm.
and I had a lot of rehearsal because I was reading these comic books.
Nice. And of course, yeah, like you said, your DJ is better than all these bands. So,
Yes, our DJ's better than all these bands, right? He don't know how to play one instrument, but he can play that record.
and well, I mean, if we got time, we'll get to that. One
Yep,
of the
yep.
true greats, man. I mean, just like one of the true icons in that discipline. But I love, again, I'm gonna back up just everything you said. Like, you listen to the way Bob Dylan would, he wouldn't rap, he would sing, but like all those lyrics and the free association,
Yeah,
it's so like close to the greats of rap, of hip
for
hop and rap,
sure.
for
Yep, for
sure.
sure.
So I love it. And also I'll say one more thing is that, people have said this about Black Sabbath, like they weren't listening to metal before it came out because it wasn't there. So and just same like with Run DMC, you guys
Right,
pioneered this stuff, but like you couldn't have grown up listening to rap and hip hop because it wasn't there. So like it's
right.
awesome. It's stupid that that we all, and I'll include me because I was a middle school kid. I was a knucklehead. We all had these divisions like, that's rap and that's rock, and
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, well, yep. And until
I
Run DMC brought it all together.
yeah
And it started, for hip hop. It's a tongue twister. Walk This Way isn't the first rock rap record. The first rock rap record was Rock Box off Run
yes
DMC's first album, which got hip hop on MTV. They was
yeah
like, oh, they play the guitars, we gonna let them in. But still at that time, me and Roman, we was just rapping. I couldn't wait to demonstrate all the super deaf rhymes that I create. I'm a wizard of a word. That's what you heard. And anything else is quite absurd. I'm the master of a mic. That's what I say. And if I didn't say that, you say it. Like we was like, yo, you hate on us, you want. And our thing was, so what if hip hop is a fad in the music business? We ain't doing this. We was never doing it to make records. We was doing it anyway with everybody else's records. So without the music business, there would be hip hop. But it's just that Run DMC, us three were the chosen ones to say it's legitimate enough to get on a record and put on TV. So that was our role.
all right yeah I got again I have so many questions, but I got to just
Yeah,
say
get
this.
into them. Let's get into them.
No, I gotta say this really quick because you talk about rock box. That was a song again. I was the little knucklehead white kid who's like, well, I
What
listen to
grade? What
rock.
grade was you in?
I was probably like fourth or fifth grade,
Yep,
but
I
rock box.
love when I was in third grade. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Fourth,
Rockbox
fifth.
Rockbox woke me up, man. It made me go like, you know what? This is great stuff. Like there's no denying it.
Yep, that was 1984.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, kudos to like all of that, and it's just, it's great music. I know it's kind of trite to say, but it's
We
great
were, we
music.
were, it was our attempt at making rock. Now, Eddie Martinez is really playing the guitar. Larry Smith is playing the bass. Larry Smith is doing the keyboards. The only thing that wasn't live on Rockbox was the drum, because the hip hop aspect was a drum machine. So we used the DMX drum machine, and a lot of people noticed we was trying to make a song like Billy Squire's Big Beat,
Okay,
because
yeah.
Billy Squire's Big Beat is one of, next to James Brown's Funky Drummer, Billy Squire's Big Beat is probably top three hip hop beat to rap over for a rapper in history. So when we was making Rockbox, we was like, we tired of everybody just actually stealing everybody. Let's make a record like it. So Larry Smith, because Big Beat goes poof, poof, bat, poof, poof, bat, poof, bat, poof, poof. Got the big beat. Poof. So I said, we're not going to steal Billy's beat. We're going to make something like it. So I went, poof, ben, boom, boom, ben, boom, boom, ben, boom, boom, ben. And it was easy. Larry Smith was a bass player in a funk band who knew all the cats. He would call other musicians cats. I know those cats. I know the horn playing cats. I know the guitar playing cats. I know the drum playing cats. So he's like, I'm going to call up this cat named Eddie Martinez, who at the time was playing with Quiet Riot. But if you look up Eddie Martinez's resume, it's phenomenal. He played with the best in rock. So Eddie comes in. Larry Smith put the bass line on, do 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 do. Then he put the bells, and then Eddie Martinez just walked in and said, "Ray, Ray, Ray." We went, yes, like it was crazy. So it was our attempt. Like most of the early hip hoppers, our lives as kids, because we were like the first, so all we was going off is what was on radio and what was on Saturday, 12 o'clock, Soul Train with Don Cornelius, and Saturday, 1 o'clock, American Bandstand with Dick Clark. So as a kid, your whole morning was the Saturday morning cartoons, 12 o'clock Soul Train, 1 o'clock American Bandstand, then you go outside and play all day. Like that was growing up for until you was about 16, when you thought you was a little more mature. That was your Saturday. Cartoons, Soul Train, American Bandstand. Now you go outside with your friends, you stay outside all day.
I remember those Saturdays. Well, the bowl of
Yeah,
cereal, yeah, on the
yeah,
TV.
yep. Yep. That's it. Reading the side of the box if nothing was on TV. And it didn't matter if you was black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, didn't matter where you was at. That's what you all were doing.
Yeah, yeah, it was great times, man. And yeah, and like I said, for me, with the age I was, Run DMC was such a huge part of it. And Iron Maiden, all the rock stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
Run DMC.
Judas Priest, all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
All of that stuff. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, all of that stuff was around us. Even if your father and mother didn't play it in the house, when you went outside and your friend's uncle who had remember the vans? They would
yeah,
hook the vans up and the artwork on the van. You come on, get on in here, and you get in there. It was always rock, folk, like all the music was one.
yeah. And I feel like we're probably getting back there. Hopefully, I mean, I know there's always gonna be division. That's just who people are. But
Right.
I feel like we're getting back there. Like again, you just cut a record with Mick Mars and
Yeah,
Sebastian Bach.
yes, yes, slowly but sure. And you just gotta have the confidence and courage to do it, but people are doing it anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like when people saw Walk This Way, they was like, what the hell Aerosmith doing with the new rapper guys? And in people's mind was that hip hop is gonna die quicker than disco. It ain't gonna be around. But once people saw, oh, it actually works together. You know what I'm saying? And most of our fans, who didn't know who Aerosmith was, but they knew who the Rolling Stones were. So when Walk This Way first came out, most of the hip hop fans were like, what Run DMC doing with the Rolling Stones? Because that's the first rock band name that comes to your mind. Then you find, oh, that's Aerosmith. They the ones that made the Toys in the Attic record. Oh shit, my cousin had that, my uncle, you know what I'm saying? But most of our fans from MTV was like, what the fuck Run DMC doing with the Rolling Stones? Because you knew the Stones, you knew the Stones and Beatles growing up.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, like why is that guy screaming in the chorus?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's going on? But you know
Uh,
what? This is kind of cool.
so yeah, I mean that's a huge win for all you guys, man. But well, let's talk about another thing you did that is really truly amazing is your book. And I only discovered it like in a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't finished it reading yet. But man, I am riveted. And you know what? I gotta say also, it's really like as for sport life and music for Slam, what we're all about. I keep reading, I'm going
Yeah.
like, holy shit, this book, this is everything. This is like completely
That's
our mission
why you're
statement.
slamming in the first place. But it's good because for me, it was kind of easy because I'm the guy that like if whatever your culture's like your religion. So for the sake of commercial success, you do not um um deprive or throw away the sincerity, integrity, and value of it. So for me, hip hop is about keeping it real. So I had to, keep it real. What's up with D? Well, I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical, spiritual wreck that just happens to be the king of rock. But at the end of the day, I'm like everybody else. You know, I always tell my audience, I'm not better than you, I am you. I'm just good at what I really do. I got some cool ass rhymes that I get to say over rock songs. But we all are going through, everybody's going through something. And if to get rid of stigma, we can't be ashamed or feel guilty about our situations. So for me, it's like, okay, what's up with DMC? We always see Run. He's on Run's house, and Russell and Kimura, Fat, where D at? Oh, that motherfucker's in rehab. Oh, he's in therapy. But that's when people say around that time, DMC, what's up with you? I just got out of rehab. I was thinking about killing myself. I found out I was adopted at age 35. To find out I'm adopted at age 35, imagine how traumatic that was to me. And then I'm alcoholic, suicidal, not knowing what's going on, finding out that I was adopted at age 35. Jam Master Jay gets shot and killed, and then Byford dies. So I had
Mm.
all of that to deal with. And I think what made me write the book is people was like, damn, D, you so honest. I just wanted to say hi to your ass. But you asked me, what's up with you? I got to tell you, this is a joke, man. The reason why I wrote the book, I got tired of people asking me, why you ain't on Run's house? Because remember, Run had a successful reality show on MTV for 10 seasons. And
Yeah.
people waited for the, you know how a season go. And they know the finale of this season, Run and D gonna get together and perform. And in the last show, I didn't show up first season. I didn't show up second season. I didn't show up third season. So by the fourth season, everybody was like, what's going on? What's going on? And to dead everybody saying Run DMC should get back together. The reason why Run DMC ain't together is because Jason's dead. But people still don't understand that. So this is how quiet all the noise, man. And everybody laughs. I don't care if it's black, white, Puerto Rican, rock, metal, hip hop, old, young. I say, okay, here's the deal, yo. Run DMC will get back together when the Beatles get back together. And they go, can that happen? No. No, you got no George, you got no John, and how the hell are these going to get back together? So if you do see me run at a show performing together, that's Run and DMC, former members from the band Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? And if we do get back together, we got to think of a whole new name. Kurt Cobain, David Grohl, Nirvana going. He started a new band. And even when Tom Morello and them, it was Soundgarden, Audio Slave, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Oh, Run and D got a new band called, that's where I was at. But the book came about. I got tired of people saying, DMC, why you ain't on Run's house? Oh, you want to know? I just got out of rehab. I was thinking of killing myself. I was drinking a case of 40s a day. What? But the beauty in that was when I would say what I really was going through, all the celebrity special shit would run away. And I would love that. Like every time somebody go, yo, DMC, what's up with you? Well, I just got out of rehab. I was thinking of killing myself. 100% of the time, two things would happen. I would say that I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical spiritual wreck who found out he was adopted at age 35, and the whole family, every Catholic school I went to knew there was a secret. Don't let Darryl know he's adopted. Jam Master Jay died. Jam Master Jay got shot and killed, and my father died. Every time I would say that, people would respond in two ways. They would look around, check for bugs, like the CIA bugged the room and the telephone, wherever we was at, they would look around to make sure nobody else was here. And they're only telling me this because the powerful, mighty DMC just dropped some weakness, vulnerability, fucked up on them. If I would have never did that, they would have went on through their lives with their problems, holding in their guilt and shame. But they're only telling me this because I just told them, but they only want me to hear. And they would go, DMC? And they would say these words, I've never told anybody this. Me too. So that means until you met me this day, you was going to work with your problem and your mental health issue. You was with your family. You running around, and all day somebody say, how you doing? You lie and say, I'm okay. But this is the worst one. Here's why I really think stigma exists. The people would respond to me and say, D, they would say, start with this. D, I've never told anybody this, but they wouldn't say me too, not them. They would go, my daughter, my sister, my mom. Now, that meant until this day, you telling me that you went to work. Some people are so ashamed to tell you that their daughter is on meth because I'm worried about how you're going to think about me. But what does that to her? That allows her to fucking lie in the pit of all the darkness, death, and destruction. Hip hop is like, D, what's up with you? My fucking daughter's on fucking meth. I don't know. They're drug dealer and she loses. Conversation brings about collaboration. Somebody will come to your assistance to bring about transformation. That's how you get rid of stigma. You get rid of stigma the same way you get rid of toothaches. I'm not ashamed to go, yo, my tooth is hurting, man. You're going to say,
Go to the dentist. Yeah.
Miss Peterson, speaking of Catholic school, Mrs. Peterson, my mother comes to pick me up in second grade. I'm standing there just being my second grade self. Miss Peterson says to my mother, where I can hear, Miss McDaniels, can I speak to you? I think there's something wrong with Darryl. So I'm two, but I hate it. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? I'm okay. I got comic books, but... And she says, oh, what is it, Miss Peterson? Well, I've noticed that Darryl's been squinting, so I think he needs glasses. So that day, my mother took me to the eye doctor, which gave me something to rhyme about when Run did pass me the mic. I'm DMC in a place to be. I wear my glasses so I can see. You know what I'm saying? But people hide behind the guilt and shame. One of my greatest rhymes is if you remove guilt and shame, you remove the pain. You don't remove the pain of the situation, but you remove the pain of going through to heal yourself. Because now you can say, I fucking smoke meth. I'm a meth addict, this and that, and I'm proud of it. But I'm going to do something so I don't have to do it no more. But the guilt and shame for the whole get away from me, weirdo, psycho, or you fucked up this. No, yes, I am fucked up. I remember when I first went into rehab, they had the 10 characteristics of addictive personality. So out loud, I look up at the board, I go, oh shit, I'm all of them. And all the therapists and doctors start clapping. And I turn to them, what y'all doing that for? You're on your way to being healed. Because I admitted it. So my whole thing was, DMC, what's up? And I found out that I'm more powerful talking about how fucked up I am than about how good I am on a mic or how many sneakers I got or being a king of rock. Now, that's a cool thing. I'm a king of that inspires people, but I'm 10 times more motivational when I say, yo, man, I'm alcoholic and I went to rehab and I'm therapy. Or, yeah, I went to rehab and I fell off the wagon, so I'm going back. That is so much more powerful than just saying how many pairs of Adidas I have. And I was like, oh, shoot, this is what it's all about. That's why it was given to me. Then I take back to all the records that I used to like when I was growing up. Harry Chapin's Cats in the Cradle, song about the father that had no time for the kid. Then I thought about my parents who gave me all the time in the world and adopted me so that I could become the king of rock. So, okay, I'm adopted and I'm a foster kid, but there's people need to understand there's people put on this earth to help them get where they're supposed to go. And a lot of times they get frustrated because it ain't coming from where they want it to come from. But it's not,
Mhm.
it's like the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. So everybody want. I want the perfect girl. This and that, this and that. My girl left me. Fuck it, she left you. That means the one that you're supposed to be with is coming to get you. Oh, I didn't get this record deal. Yes, that means you wasn't supposed to be there. You're gonna end up somewhere else. I got turned. I look. I'm calling myself the king of rock. 50 labels turned us down. 51 was a fucking dance music label called Profile Records that said, this is kind of cool. We'll take a chance with it. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Hi, I'm Coffin Comics cover artist and creator of Carnal Sin of Carnal Confessions, Sorcerer. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the organization SLAM, Support Life and Music. As someone who dabbles in music as well as the visual arts, I know that creativity can sometimes be spawned from some dark places and experiences. I just want you to remember this one thing. You are never alone. I hope you'll join me in supporting SLAM, supporting musicians, and supporting their needs. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to keep up, man. You're dropping the wisdom, but like something like a hip hop statement, like it was so big for us in our day was keeping it real. But you're right, people are like, no, no, don't really keep it real. We'll say that, but no, but
Yes.
you're keeping it real, like with the book, like when you're coming out and saying this is what's really going on. I think it's important. It's really important because
Well,
some
that's the
yeah.
responsibility that's given to you. You know what I'm saying? As whoever you are. Like I say, it's not just athletes and movie stars. The everyday person, I always tell people, your story could save a life.
Yeah.
The problem, the people don't think that everybody else has power because just because I do it every day, they think I got more power than the plumber. But that plumber can tell his story of addiction and save everybody's life in the room. You know, they put it on certain people, and some of the people that they put it on ain't being really real. Like my saying is, you can't just give out turkeys on Thanksgiving and think the community's going to be okay. You can't just give out toys and presents on Christmas and then wait a whole nother year and then come back for a publicity stunt or a PR moment. No, you got to be involved in your community every day. So that's why, like with my book, I wrote my book with teachers. Why? Because the teachers are there with the kids every day. They on the front lines, so they know how do I take my story of being the guy that their grandmothers and grandfathers think is God and come to a place where that 3-year-old kid, that third grader can say, he's just like me. And kids bug out when I say, yo, I'm 61 years old. I've been in the music business for 43 years. I still get scared before I go on stage. Huh? I'm still scared to death. So now I telling the kid, oh, it's all right to be scared. Yes. But when you can't tell somebody, you know, with a mental health issue, man up, you ain't supposed to do that. Yes, you are. You're supposed to cry and say, I'm vulnerable. And that's the powerful thing to do. I found out most men are fronting. That's another hippie. Yo, man, you fronting. Nobody's keeping it real. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. This and that. And you drinking and you fighting and you getting in trouble. You know, I say this about harmful, destructive behaviors are celebrated in my business, in our communities, you know, whether it's Black community, Italian community. I talk to people from, you know, from Europe and stuff. Yeah, you know, when I was going through something, I tried to talk to my father, and he says, men don't do that and this and that. So it made him fucking leave the house and do the heroin more. Like
Yeah.
there was a core issue instead of sitting down and you cry, like you find your strength when you admit that you're weak. But the more you front like you're strong and you got it together, your fucking strength stays back because they know you lying, motherfucker. But as soon as you cry and say, I need help, or, you know, don't be ashamed of being fucked up. Boom, your strength comes to you. You know, like, you know, a lot of people want confidence and courage and validation from fake sources, such as the music business, such as, you know, the so-called fans that don't really care about you. You know, the fans that really care about you, they're going to shut up and stop and listen to you saying, I'm fucked up and I'm weak and I'm vulnerable. And they want that from you. You know, those are the songs that you know, those are the most important songs that you could make.
I love the line from your book. Well, get the money and then be depressed. I love that you
Yes.
say that in your book. You know, there's too much of that attitude, but I agree with, man, that's real power is in owning up to your vulnerabilities. That's that. I mean,
Right.
this is, we want to hear Darryl, we don't want to hear me, but I totally agree. That's where the
No,
real power is.
100%. No, for sure.
Yeah, and again, you said so many things. Like another quote, money don't shit if you ain't right. Money don't mean shit if you ain't
Not
right, you
at
know.
all. Not
Yeah.
at all. Like, I
It's
mean,
like,
you see the perfect examples of it. Like I was there. It bugged me out. All of this was happening. Um, you know, and I'm the king of rock because I love rock and metal and stuff like that. And you know, I'm discovering stuff people like you known for years, but it's new to me. I feel like I'm 8 again in my room when of course I heard all the singles, but now I'm hearing album cuts and people laugh at me. But you know, my friends would say, "Yo, D, why you listening to that old music?" It's not old to me because it's my first time discovering it. So it's the same way I'm hearing something that was made in 67 when they heard it. I'm discovering that now in 2024, and it's mind blowing to me. You know, and then when you look at how it's in front of our faces, but you know, the media doesn't address the media doesn't use their power to cure, solve, and heal. They'll announce it because they know it's going to get them views. But then the next day, they're not talking about, you know, I liken to this. I remember when we was in rehab, I was in Sierra Tucson in Arizona. Um, I was in there for a month, and we in there, and it's the midday, and then CNN, Britney Spears was in rehab, but her rehab allowed her to leave the facility and go shopping on Sunset Boulevard. And we in there, I remember we in there, we see that on TV, we start asking the counselors, yo, why we can't do that? You know what I'm saying? It was like, no, because it's different here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let you're gonna understand dopamine. We're gonna talk to you about they gave us lessons. We had to study the LSD guy from the 60s. We studied that. We studied brain function like that. No, ours is completely different. But then I remember around all the time when I was going through stuff, when Chris Cornell, one of the greatest voices of ever, then Chester, who was his friend, and I was, oh shit, I was there. But then the one that really killed me was Anthony Bourdain. And I remember that was like, I was like, wow. So it don't matter. You could be a chef, you could be a musician, the football players, of course, you know, the veterans, the people from the
Yeah.
war, firemen, people. Then it's funny, I start talking. I did a little radio tour for my book up at Sirius XM, and Sirius XM, I think it's Mount Sinai or Cornell University. One of them have a medical channel. And I went on and did the interview, and the lady doctor was telling me how doctors commit suicide. I was like, what? Like lawyer, like it's crazy. So it made me realize that everybody is going through something. And then you look at the kids, you hear about it in the news all day. I remember my wife's best friend, her kid at 12 years old took his own life. And it's just that, man, if we talk about it, these kids will open up more, but they don't want to be considered weird. And, you know, the thing about me is all of a sudden now, us geeks and nerds is cool. All the comic book text, you know what I'm saying? Look at the billions of dollars comic books is making in Hollywood now. All the iPhones and the AI, all the geeky kids, you know. I tell y'all motherfuckers ain't really gangsters. Y'all lie, cheat, and steal, and then you'll take the money and buy the shit that you want that's gonna make you cool. Motherfucker, without us, you ain't cool. So all of this is now starting to make sense, but the same way we consider a bank account or your status in society is cool, we got to put that same type of respect on people that go through things, or people with a mental health issue. You know, we don't look at the person that, you know, finds out they got a physical disease or something, and oh, you're so courageous going to get help. But the thing with the mental is you don't want nobody to know that you fucked up. But you want everybody to know that you had a heart attack. Or you want everybody to know that, you know, you got an ear infection. Or, you know, I go to the gym now. If your back hurting, what do you do? Yo, man, my back's hurting. I'm gonna be like, Matt, go see the chiropractor. But it's almost like, yo, man, I'm depressed. What the fuck? Get away from me, widow. Don't give me that shit. Like, we got to change that. So for me, it was easy. The same attitude that I put on rhyming about chicken and collard greens, Christmas, and St. John's University. Like, the pastor rapper, Mike, you want to hear bitch, oh, guns. I realize it's all about attitude and confidence and being courageous to stand up there and go, D's for doing it all of the time, M's for the rhymes that are on mine, C's for cool as can be. And Ron would ask me, why you wear those glasses? So I can see. Like, I didn't wear them to be cool. I didn't wear them to be down. If I wore them shits, because if I don't wear them, I ain't. And I got contacts until to this day. So you got to add a confidence to the thing that people think is your weakness. Once you understand it's part of you and you can get rid of it, that's what it empowers you beyond yourself. Because now the very thing that you find, you know the other person got it. Some people take a little longer to find. That's why you got to keep encouragement. See, everybody has courage, but how do you be confident about it? So for me, I had a lot of practice and preparation. Rhyme, and I can tell kids, I'm so gangster. I got a song about Christmas. Every Christmas for as long as this world exists, it's going to be Ben Crosby, Nat King Cole, and me, Run DMC, with the hip hop thing they thought wouldn't last. Now we are part of holiday tradition forever. Man, you make a corny Christmas song. Yep. Yes, I do. That's more harder than anything y'all will ever do. So just those little examples. So for me now, it's like, if I could talk about me, maybe somebody else would be able to say, oh, maybe I should go get help. Maybe if DMC can say he's vulnerable, scared, and weak, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. And you can still be the mighty king of rock. And what's
Right.
crazy is so many people are naive. And I was just doing a mental health conference, and I brought this up about I would say about 10 years ago, maybe longer, here in New York City, Henry Rollins, big shout out to Henry. He was the commentator, and we was talking about addiction and recovery. And rest in peace, it was me and Ace Frehley, and it was me, Ace Frehley, and Steven Adler from
Okay.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And it was Henry Rollins was the commentator. And after the thing, and Steven Adler's stories were crazy. Mine's is
Mm.
crazy, Ace's is crazy, but Steven's stories were crazy. He said I died like 50 times, D. Like, and I love him because he's so funny. But afterwards, I go to Henry and I say, "Yo, Henry, so when did you recovery?" Henry looks at me and says, "D, I never got high a goddamn day in my life." So I was like, "How the fuck, y'all go blood and die?" I said, "How the fuck?" Because we're so naive. Coming into the music business, you think you need to Hennessy and a joint to do that. Here's what's funny though. He says, "D, I love Henry too, right? He's so eloquent and cool and nice. Like he's like your father, your best teacher, and the fucking camp counselor." He says, "D, I never got high a goddamn day in my life." And that blew my mind because 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I said, "This is blowing my mind, Henry." He said, "Why?" 20 years ago, Chuck D, a Public Enemy, said the same exact thing to me. And Henry goes, "Chuck, we're great friends." But I bring that up because this was 88, and we was on tour. It was Run DMC. We used the headliners, of course. It was Run DMC, Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD, and Jazzy Jeff in a Fresh Prince. This one, Will, was before Hollywood. Big shout
Yeah.
out to Will. And we was all on the side of the stage, and the question came up about, what's so powerful about this hip hop thing that we got? And all of these things came up. Oh, we're playing in sports arenas now. Running them got us getting sneaker deals like the athletes. The movies, Break In, Beach Street, Crush. We're doing movies. We're doing tours. We're on tour buses like the rock star. So it's like everything that, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and the lives of, George Clinton and Stevie Wonder. We all got that. We got money, and then it came up. Yeah, man, we got all the money. We could get all the beer and the reefer and the coke that we want. And we was on the side of the stage, and when I was said Chuck D, he was the oldest on the tour. So Chuck was only like 23. He's the oldest on the tour, but he's only 23. With that man God voice, he said, "I never got high a goddamn day in my life." And he said it with such conviction. And I went back into my room and I sat there, and I was so naive. I went, "So why he rhyme so dope?" Because the perception was, you got to rap to do that. Chuck never got high a day in his life. Told me that 20 years ago, then 30 years ago, then 10 years later, after Chuck says that, Henry Rollins says that to me. So I bring that up now because I was asked that at a question. We was doing addiction. I was doing an addiction and recovery panel with Simon Kirk of Free and Bad Company, who I'm
Right.
working on something. We're working on a musical about addiction recovery with him. And when the lady in the crowd, the girl, I'm a college student, I'm doing me, what do you do? I said, you got to be like Chuck D and Henry Rollins. And when I told that story, everybody was like, how the hell Henry don't get high? He got all, no, you have everything necessary inside of you without having something from outside of you to bring it forth. So I use my story to say, yeah, it's okay if you fuck up. But then I say there's people in our businesses who never did that and are so successful and very good at what they do. And they know how to say, no, thank you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, you get in that situation where, you sign with the label and then the label guy calls you to his mansion and he say, yeah, I'm gonna sign you and you can have all of this. And he shows you the check and he go, take a hit of this. And you go, no, I don't need that. I just want to get to the studio, motherfucker, and make the album that you're gonna pay me for. And then when this first album drop, I want to change the percentages. Because without me, you ain't gonna have this fucking mansion. But so there's so much pressure on people. But that's why I say courage is something that everybody has, but a lot of people need encouragement.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I've so much, my head is spinning from all this great stuff you're talking about here. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think people think that that's part of what success is. They think like, well, and also people think I'm a failure if I'm not that. If I don't have a mansion,
Right,
if I don't have a mansion, if I don't have
right.
lines of coke in front of me, I'm a failure. And we got
Yes,
to change that. We got to
you
change
got to
that.
change that perception, right? I mean, it's just like, you know, real success that, like I tell people about hip hop, who is your success in hip hop has nothing to do with the records that you sold. The records that you sold has to do with the records that you sold in the recording music industry. But there's so many rappers who don't get talked about because they don't make records that are doing important stuff, who go into the schools, who go into the jails, who go and support the after school programs, but they don't get written about. So the perception is, I got to have this, I got to have that car, I need to live that lifestyle. No, you can be the baddest man on the damn planet and fucking live in a apartment in Soho or in Greenwich Village or wherever, and you just wake up and you go do your show and you come back home. That's
Yeah,
so, or the teacher that taught for 30 years and put so many kids to a better life. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that's success too.
that's perfectly said, man. You got a couple more minutes?
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah,
up a lot of your time. You got a couple more minutes, couple more
yeah, yeah,
questions?
yeah.
No, I love it, man.
And
What you're,
I'll come back on once the record drop.
oh, you're welcome, more than welcome. Yeah, we got to
Because
have
I
you
want
back
the
on.
record to be out, then we could come back on and get into, you know, different stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to talk about the record for sure. And I look forward also, big shout out to Metal Mayhem ROC, Metal
Yes.
Walt. Yeah, great guys,
Yeah.
and big
Great
shout out to those
guys.
guys.
Yep. They're
Um,
doing great stuff.
well, let me actually, so since we're talking about all this stuff,
Yep.
let's talk about the song, which to me is one of the most beautiful songs ever recorded, ever written. One that you'd say you keep naming one song in your memoir that was the song that kind of helped you through. And I love it's a beautiful story because
Sarah McLachlan's.
yeah, yeah,
So, right. So, for everybody, we're going to talk about it. For everybody, you can go to the morph.org. They go to their website, morph.org, punch in DMC Angel Story. And
there you
you'll
go.
hear me. I did a morph at the Storytellers Academy. Did that story for the morph. So go to the morph.org. Well, it was just one of those things where I was at my lowest point ever, thinking I'm definitely going to. And here's what's funny, Matt. This is true too. I was going to really kill myself this day because I was living in Jersey at the time, and people are going to love this. And this really happened. My travel agent, Shelly, who I had for 50 years, calls me. And she says, D, I have some bad news. Now, the way she said it, I thought it was somebody died, but it was worse than that. And you're going to laugh. She says, D, I have some bad news. And I'm like, Shelly, what? There are no flights going into Newark. So that means you have to go into JFK. So I was so depressed and fucked up. I'm going, see, God, this is living fucking proof that I shouldn't be on this earth because I gotta go to fucking JFK. You're sending me to hell. So that was like confirmation, everything. That little thing was confirmation. See, my voice was leaving. I was fucking depressed. I'm not even son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother, runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. I always rhymed about my parents on every record because I had the best parents ever. Literally, they're the best. But now they're not mine. So I was at my lowest point. I was like, when I get home, I'm killing myself. So I get in the car at JFK. And you got to hear the Morph story and you got to read the book. But on the radio, the driver turns it to Hot 97, the rap station. That was the last thing I wanted to hear. Can't even do that shit no more, so I'm killing myself. I thought I was just put here to rap. Now my voice leaves, I'm worthless. See, like, the whole story is crazy. So I say, turn it to anything except that he turns it to Light FM. This is 1996, I believe, something like that. 94, when did that record come out?
Yeah, it was like 95, 96.
Yeah,
Yeah,
95, yeah. And Sarah McLachlan's Angel comes on the radio. And just something in me goes, D, life may be fucked up, but if something this beautiful exists, you can survive. So I just listened to Angel every day during my depression. All for 1 whole year, all I did was listen to Angel, Angel, Angel. And it just calmed me. And then it wasn't until about maybe 8 years ago, I found out she wrote the song about the Smashing Pumpkins keyboard player who OD'd. But one of the things that identified so well with that record was she had that line, in the dark, cold hotel room. So during the whole Run-DMC tour, this is before Jay died, when we was on the road, I would alienate myself. If Run and Jay and the crew would go to the Hilton, I would go to the Marriott. And then when they would they started catching on to what to do. They would book the Marriott, I would go to the Hilton. And one of the worst things that you can do when you're going through something is isolate yourself. But you only do that because when you're going through something, I thought I was the only depressed alcoholic in the world. Not knowing there's a gazillion of us. I thought when I found out that I was adopted, I thought I was the only, woe is me, I'm the only one on meth. Motherfucker, you are not alone. I was just in Vegas with Jewel. The singer Jewel has the Not Alone foundation and stuff like that. So, and everybody else, when I was speaking, everybody laughed because you thought I was the only one that got abused by my father when I was little. No, you're not. So, when I heard the record, the vibration of this record just connected with me. And like I said, it wasn't until 8 years ago I found out that she wrote it about the Smashing Pumpkins keyboard player who had OD'd. So what it was, when I heard this record at my lowest point, like we just said, music is a vibration. It's spiritual, it's emotional. That record that was the only thing that, oh, wow. Okay, because everything else, I didn't feel like I belonged. But the vibration of that record made me, okay, if this is here, maybe I can survive. But then I had to go internally and say, all right. And it wasn't until that I found out that I was adopted that gave me a reason to go to rehab. Because the only reason I went to rehab was like, my wife was always telling me, motherfucker, you going through all of this because you just found out that you was adopted. I didn't want to deal with that truth. Like, your wives say, motherfucker, you just acting that way because you can't emotionally handle the fact that your mother and father lied to you, which was true, but they did it for a reason. But I'm not trying to see that. So I had to be of sound mind to understand what I was going through. So that's the tragic revelation of me finding out that I was adopted while I was suicidal and alcoholic was the tragic revelation that I needed to propel me to go heal myself. Because it always gets worse right before it gets better. But it took the record to make me say, you can't leave this universe. So what, you don't want to run? So look, maybe you'll stop being DMC of Run-DMC and go work at the library. But as long as you realize there's something here for you, which that record showed me, okay, you know, all ain't lost. It gave me the confidence to get courageous enough to go get help.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And you know,
Right?
well,
Like, because you always say your friends are somebody you can confide in to get confidence. So the friendship wasn't working for me because there was nobody else that was alcoholic and adopted. So none of the motherfuckers, even if they could relate to me, I ain't checking for them because you don't know what I'm going through, you know, which is true and stuff like that. So it took a song, a presence, an entity, a vibration of energy on this plane here. You know, it's like, how is this feeling going to get to that kid right there, Darryl McDaniels? Let it go through Sarah's song. You know, that's what the rock and roll gods was thinking. You know, they could have said, oh my God, could have ran into my second grade teacher, Miss Peterson again. Maybe that would help. But it's like, no, this guy likes music. He's a music guy. Let's send it through Sarah's song. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that he loved Jim Croce. Let's send it through Sarah McLachlan. So it you know, the music. And what's crazy, I talk about this in the book. When a year goes by, I go to I'm listening to a song for a year. A year goes by, I go to Clive Davis Grammy party in LA that I didn't want to go to, but my manager forced me to go. And who do I meet? Sarah McLachlan. Like all the Grammy parties that because I was like, I don't want to fucking go. I don't care. I said, fuck Clive Davis, fuck Whitney Houston. Like I was fucked up. And my manager was like, what you going to sit here and just listen to Sarah McLachlan all day? Yup. But, you know, he did his thing. And I said, okay, motherfucker, you sold your soul to the devil to go to Clive Davis corny ass Grammy party. I'll go for you because you going to hell. So I go, you know, and they want to go, and who I meet. Like, you can't write this. She walks in, she comes in, DMC, I love It's Tricky. I love Walk This Way. You guys are so cool. And shakes my hand, and I tell her the song was named Angel. You sound like an angel. I don't know you personally, but people say you're an angel. But that song, I listen to it every day. It's the only thing that keeps me going. And she says these words, and I quote, "Thank you for telling me that, Darryl, because that's what music is supposed to do." Shakes my hand and walks away. 3 years go by. I find out that I'm adopted. I get an idea. I'm going to take Harry Chapin's Cats in the Cradle, and I'm going to remake it and put the story of my parents that gave me love, and I'm going to get that lady, Sarah McLachlan, to sing the chorus. So I call Sarah up, and she makes the record with me, but it wasn't until we finished making the record that she goes, "Darryl, I got to tell you something." Now, you got to understand, I know who she was, and the song was on the soundtrack of City of Angels, the Nick Cage, Meg Ryan movie. And I remember coming home telling my wife, I like that Sarah McLachlan. So my wife brought me the soundtrack for Christmas that year. But think about that. So I'm listening to the song a whole year, go to a party I didn't want to go to. I meet Sarah McLachlan. 3 years go by. I find out that I'm an adopted foster kid. I go back to her to make the record. We make the record. She invited me to, me and my manager and the label people, we went to Vancouver, Canada to record in her house because she has a studio in her house. And before I was leaving, Matt, she turns to me. Everybody got goosebumps. "Darryl, there's something I need to tell you." And I go, "What?" She goes, "I was adopted too. And I didn't know that." And then I had to go look. It was public information, but I didn't know that. Only thing I knew was this Angel song is saving my life. But we had something in common. I had something in common with the guy on the record, addiction. but I also had something in common with the person that delivered it to me. So that's
Yeah.
why I tell everybody, don't be ashamed to talk about what you're going through. Because not just, don't think just because I'm DMC, I can save a life. The reason why I'm saving lives is I got more PR and advertisement than you do, but your story can save a life too without even having a video or album cover or a PR agent. Your story can save a life by you going into work tomorrow at your hospital or your school or at the UPS center or at the FedEx truck or at the pizza shop or at the library and turn into one of your friends and say, I need to speak to you, I'm struggling. And as soon as you do that, watch, there's so many individuals that's been around you for the last 10 years saying, you too, me too. And now you got a whole new family, a whole new friendship, and your life will change in the blink of an eye.
Beautiful, man. And like, people, I have two more things, and I promise I'll
Yeah.
let you go. I promise.
Okay.
But sometimes people come to me and say like, "Hey, Jack, man, like, what are you learning through Slam?" Like, people say like, well, I'm really having a hard time, and they'll say like, tell me what are you learning? And that's some of the things I say that I've picked up. People like talk about finding meaning in music and community and connection, and you're saying all those things. And I feel like that is important. And the other thing I've said is people talk about, like, we've had people on this show who said, I was ready to jump off the balcony at the hotel, but
Yep.
getting sober, is a big part of it too. But even without,
100%.
yeah. So even without that,
100%, for sure. It's like my greatest achievement, besides being first to go gold, first to go platinum, first to cover Rolling Stone, first with the sneaker deals and all that stuff. One of my greatest achievement is I'm living proof you can beat and defeat whatever it is that you're going through.
yeah,
The DMC, the King of Rock thing was just a setup for what I was supposed to do. The King of Rock gave me something to do, but even that was almost taken away from me. But then it wasn't, so that's the reason why I became the King of Rock, to tell you that if I can do it, you can do it too.
and that book you wrote, that's really the roughest, toughest lyrics you ever wrote down. Those are really the roughest,
The
toughest.
roughest stuff is there, yeah, for real. Yeah, what I
But
say, on my new record, I got a new record called Enough of This Shit, but it's Enough of This Shh. And I say I prioritize my mental health. I do a lot of things to protect myself. JMJ is written on my belt. Buckle up, motherfuckers, turbulence is felt. So it's saying you got to be ready for the storms in life. But at the end of the day, the hurricane doesn't last forever. We are just like this universe that we live in. There's meteor showers, there's droughts, and all of that, but doesn't the earth still let the sun come out? You know what I'm saying? It's like, the person, oh, I got depressed because I didn't get signed to the label. Maybe that was good for your ass, so you could do something else. Now you want the satisfaction and the gratification, but maybe what you're looking for is going to come another way. Like, look, I wanted to be a rock star. I can't fucking sing and I don't have a band. So it took this music of me stealing everybody else's music to say I'm worthy. So, it doesn't matter. Gene Simmons, I love Gene Simmons. I even agreed with Gene Simmons about, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was for bands, it was for live instruments and stuff like that. But then I'm like, fuck it. If any rappers is going to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, most of my records were rock. Most of Run-DMC's hip hop records were rock records. Rock Box, King of Rock, It's Tricky, It's My Sharona, Mary
yeah,
Mary is the Monkeys, which we Rick Rubin was just brilliant. I was like, yo, we used to watch a show called The Monkees every day after school while I eat my cereal. And he had this record going, Mary, Mary, where are you going to? Man, Rick said, no, we're going to sample that, but don't say where you're going. Say why you're bugging. Because in hip hop, it's a thing, why you're bugging. And, you know, it worked. Like, hip hop didn't invent anything, it reinvented everything. So I literally reinvented my life, but I didn't have to change who I am. I had to change certain things I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And not looking for Henry Rollins to say that, and then I'll go, Chuck D told me that 20 years later. Now I'm proud to say I don't get high no more, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They said I never got high a day in my life, motherfucker. But now with that same courage and confidence, I don't get high no more, motherfucker. So hopefully, you know, that helps. Because when I was in rehab, I was in there with a kid. He was going, I don't know why my mother and father paying all this money, because as soon as I get out, I'm going back to the club to get high. And I was like, you sure you want to do that? I said, where is that going to get you? You know, I'm going to go have a fucking good time. And I was like, okay. I don't want to come back here. It's like jail. Shit, most motherfuckers go to jail. I don't want to go back there. And even the ones that went to jail for y'all, I just got out. I've been in jail for 50 years. You see what they're doing? They're going around giving speeches and going to group homes and visiting the Boys and Girls Club to tell these kids you don't need. That's power. You know what I'm saying? So your experience is given to you. You know, you the meth addict who goes and do everything that you can not to do the meth, you have much more impact than a professor who studied it that never took it. You know, just saying, have you walked in the shoes? Most of us are given these situations because there's a bigger reason for you. You know what I'm saying? And we're figuring it out as we go.
And yeah, but I mean, again, thank you so much for sharing this message, man. This is
Thank
what
you for giving a platform to have a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what Entertainment Tonight should be doing. And this is what all of those, you know, Access Hollywood, they'll tell about, oh, today such and such is in rehab and he OD'd and stuff like that. And then tomorrow's business as usual. Okay, I can understand that. But every day you should do a piece, even if it's, you know, 3 minutes of here's what's going on with, and even especially if the addict is there's no hope, he would say, wow, they're concerned about me. They're talking about me every day. No, they mention I'm in here, but after that, they don't care about me. And they wait for me to do it again. They wait for me to fuck up. No, let's give the media stuff more to talk about where we say, yeah, I fucked up, but now I ain't fucking up no more. Those are the more the stories that the fans and the public should be hearing. And you know, a lot of people put it in their music, a lot of people put it in their art, a lot of people put it in their work. So for me, it was just easy because it was like, yo, D, what are you doing? I'm eating chicken and collard greens. D, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going to therapy. Cool. And then I'll rhyme about it. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing's wrong with it.
right. Yeah, you know, we
So
put kids in car seats, we put kids in like bike helmets, and then, you know, we teach them stuff, but you know, how do we teach kids to be
yeah,
protective and
and
be
a lot of
things for them?
times I noticed something with the kids too, because my parents did it to me when I was younger. And I would have, you know, kids have emotions no matter, because they're human. So if you're under 7 and you come with a very mature emotion, adults have a habit of doing this to kids. Don't talk about that. You're too young to talk about that. That's traumatic because now you just told the kid there's something wrong with having that feeling. So you told me that when I was 5. I remember that. You're too young and don't talk about that. Talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that. So when I'm 13, 16, or 18, that situation comes again. But my little brain remembers that time when I was 5, something wrong with it. This isn't right. So I got to go smoke a drink to make it go away. Or if I don't want to smoke, I cut because it's a thought now. But my mother screamed at me, don't talk about that. You're too young. Like those are wrong feelings. No, if it's about love, or even if it's about, I want to kill my best friend because he fucking took my Play-Doh. You sit, why are you feeling like that? And the kid has an answer at that age. And if you let them digest it out, even if you got to give them instruction, as they grow, you're giving them a tool to deal with it when that shit hit him when he get on a football team, or when he gets in college, or when he's adult. He held all of that emotion in because he got screamed at. Now the classmate did it in 3rd grade. Now the fucking boss is doing it. And he remembered his mother screamed, don't do that. It's wrong to feel like that. So instead of talking to somebody on a job or talking to somebody, he's just going to go home and fucking think Johnny Walker, Jack Daniels, and Jim Beam is his friend. So that's why I did my kids' book. It's a story about me getting bullied in the 3rd grade. And it's about believing in yourself. Because in the book, I want to go do the talent show. So I put my name on the talent show to say my poem, right? And the bullies come and say, yo, that talent show stuff is corny. So to be like them and please them, I take my name off the talent show and I go hang with them. And as soon as I take my name off, I feel something that's wrong. But I do it for them, and it makes my life go crazy till I have a dream where, no, just be you. And I go back, I put my name back on it. And then they come and say, D, you going to do the talent show? I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to say my poem. So Charlie, who's a guy, it's funny, if Charlie and Denise read my kids' book, they're going to go, oh shit, he's talking about me. So Charlie says, let me see your poem. So I give Charlie my poem and he rips it up right before I got to go on stage. But does that stop me? I go, no, because I realized something. Hold up. Who the guy that wrote the poem on the paper? I did. So the power ain't on the paper, the power's in me. So I go up on stage and I say my poem, and the whole school gives me a standing ovation. So after the talent show, who comes to me is my friend Charlie. D, yo, the poem stuff is cool. Can you teach me to do poetry like you? And I could have said, hell no, motherfucker, you ripped my shit up. But I go, yeah, I'll teach you. But Charlie, I'm not going to teach you to do it like me. I'm going to teach you poetry so you can do it the way Charlie wants to. So a kid's environment is his household, his backyard, his block, his schoolyard, and his classroom. Our environments is our households, our work environments, our relatives. Everything that we encounter as adults, we already encountered as young people in that environment to prepare us. A lot of the things that we do. When I got out of rehab, I was diagnosed with suppressed emotions. And what that means is there was times I should have spoke up for myself, but I didn't. I don't want to cause trouble. I want everybody at the label to like me. When I should have said, hell no, motherfucker, I ain't doing that. But no, for the sake of selling the record, go do what everybody else has done. I realized I didn't have to do that. So you got to be who you are. You don't need to take the drink or smoke, or you don't even need to dress the way everybody else dresses. Just be you and you will succeed at whatever it is that you do. And if people don't want you, fuck them, walk out the room. Don't let them kick you out, walk the fuck out. Say bye, because you will walk into what's necessary for you. But a lot of times we stick to stuff and we use substances to make us feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I got out of that was fuck Charlie. That's what I got out of it. No.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hopefully Charlie. No.
Exactly. No, fuck Charlie, because he's gonna see the whole shit I did that. Yeah, Charlie, that's fucked up that you did that.
Right. Well, don't be Charlie, and don't beat yourself up, and don't punish yourself. Don't numb yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Celebrate
Right,
yourself.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yo, emotions are yours to have. That's the beauty of it.
That's a great quote right here at the very end. That's that's another great quote.
Yeah.
So, all right, man, this has been truly one of the best episodes. This is Jack Mangan right over here. That's DMC, Darryl.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime, man. Let's definitely make that
I'm
happen in
definitely gonna come
2026.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, powerful stuff, man. Everyone, and I really, like I said, I'm not just blowing smoke. That your book is really so. Why don't you take us out, promote everything? You got a
Oh
lot
yeah,
going
yeah.
on. Promote
Well,
all of it.
the book you're talking about is 10 Ways Not to Commit Suicide. If you're going through something or know somebody going through something, I think it's a very good read because everybody says from the opening, D, everything you were saying, I say. That's why I did it. The kids' book is Daryl's Dream. Story about me in the third grade deals with bullying and believing in yourself. And then November 25th, I have a limited edition book. You can look it up on Blue Balloon Books. It's called Daryl's Christmas in Hollis. A little story that goes, it's a story about me growing up in Hollis, Queens, that is inspired by the Run-DMC Christmas song. So Daryl's Christmas in Hollis comes out November 25th. The first single off the album America comes out January 23rd. And like I said, I have a comic book. You can catch me at your local Comic Con. The comic book company is Daryl Makes Comics. You can look that up. And I also have cookies. And the reason why I did cookies is because I eat a lot of sweets, and cookies are cool, and cookies can have the adults and the kids in the same room where they can sit down and eat cookies and have a discussion about life. But the cookie company is also called Daryl Makes Cookies, dmc-cookies.com, or I'm on Amazon. So
Wow.
those are the things I got going on right now. And oh, for anybody that's in the tri-state area, on November 19th, I'll be performing with Tom Morello at Irving Plaza here in New York City. So if you want to see the King of Rock rock with one of the kings of rock, Tom Morello, I'm coming out as a special guest with Tom for his show December 19th at Irving Plaza. And last month, Agnostic Front dropped their new album. The single that I'm on, the video and the single is out now. Agnostic Front featuring DMC. The song is called It's a Matter of Life and Death. So check out the single and check out the video now. Agnostic Front featuring DMC, Matter of Life and Death. It's out now. You keep on slamming because it's a matter of life and death. And by doing this, you are saving so many lives.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a great conversation, and everyone check out all that stuff and
Yes,
eat
sir.
cookies. We should have been
And
talking
get the
about cookies.
cookies. Eat the cookies. Yes.